This is The Scoop for Wednesday.
I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. Pasco County deputies shot and killed a suspect who fired at them last night in Dade City, according to a press release. Deputies say they tried to make contact with Christian Javier to serve an order issued by a court at the request of his family due to threats he made to them. After multiple efforts to de-escalate, deputies say they deployed pepper balls, and shortly after, Javier fired numerous shots at deputies, and deputies returned fire. Javier was struck and killed. No deputies were injured. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will investigate the deputy-involved shooting, and they say there is no public safety threat. The deputies who fired the rounds have been placed on paid administrative leave per policy. Tampa City Council member Gwen Henderson has died at 60 years old. WMNF's Chris Young reports Tampa Mayor Jane Castor and its City Council chair confirmed the sudden death of Gwen Henderson yesterday morning.
Henderson was sworn into the Tampa City Council in 2023 and became chair of the Community Redevelopment Agency shortly after. Prior to serving on the City Council, she spent decades as an educator with Hillsborough County Public Schools and served on the City of Tampa Citizen Review Board. Councilmember Lynn Hertak served alongside Henderson.
I think her legacy is being a fierce advocate for her community, for the city at large. And for me, it will be the reminder to continue to fight for things I believe in. She was really good at that.
Henderson was the chair of Tampa's Community Redevelopment Agency and owned an African-American bookstore in Tampa Heights. In a statement, Mayor Jane Castor and Council Chair Alan Clendenin called her a, quote, powerhouse and a champion for African-American culture and Tampa's history. Congressmember Kathy Castor also called Henderson a, quote, tireless advocate. According to Tampa officials, plans to honor Henderson's life and service will be shared in the coming days. Chris Young, WMNF News.
After violent clashes between law enforcement and residents of Los Angeles over the weekend, activists called a rapid response protest in front of Tampa City Hall on Monday. WMNF's Leah Burdick reports emotions were high as the demonstrators were met by counter-protesters.
The protest was focused on the deportations and ICE raids that have been occurring across the country. One demonstrator said she's Puerto Rican and has more protections than others do to participate in events like this.
So I, in my privilege, want other people to have the American dream, and it's an injustice, and enough is enough. I can't sit back and do nothing while families are being torn apart.
She was one of a dozen who came out to fight against families being torn apart. Victoria Higley is a part of the Tampa Bay Student for Democratic Society, protesting ICE raids happening around the country.
And standing with the community folks that are out there kicking ICE out of their neighborhoods when they see them attacking their neighbors and ripping, families apart, deporting innocent people.
When traffic lights turned red, protesters stood in crosswalks chanting their support for migrants. Everything remained peaceful until tension started to rise when a handful of counter-protesters showed up to show their support for the actions of ICE. Other than a few altercations, the protest was civil overall. For WMNF News, I'm Leah Burdick in Tampa.
Governor Ron DeSantis has reappointed 2 men as University of Florida Board of Trustee members. This comes after the university's failed search for a new president. Kira Carl has more.
The 2 men, Maury Husseini and Fred Ridley, have been reappointed to the Board of Trustees. This comes after Husseini made a remark last week that the university will go on, with or without him. Husseini had endorsed UF presidential candidate Santa Ono with this impassioned speech during the election process.
The bottom line is that Dr. Ono is globally recognized as one of the most respected leaders in higher education, and we are lucky to have him.
Husseini has been serving on the board as chair since 2018. Still, both men need approval from the Florida Senate. This is Kira Carl in Gainesville.
Some storms today with highs in the lower 90s. Storms tonight with overnight lows in the mid-70s. And thunderstorms tomorrow with highs in the lower 90s. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.